warning, just to give you a couple of examples here. So flood warning means that it's flooding right now. Areas in poor drainage, small streams, and then we have the tornado warning. And the tornado warning issued because they saw what they believed was rotation on radar, and it was moving to the northeast pretty quickly at about 50 miles an hour. I've been doing this a long time, 28 years, and when you look at tornadoes moving, typically, we see them going 20, 30 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. That's really booking. So we want everybody to just stay safe, be calm, and watch that line. It's moving through the Wyoming Valley. I'm happy to report you folks in Lock Haven, Jersey Shore, Avis, and those areas, it's pretty much wrapped up there. Tioga County, just a couple of spotty showers. Now it's moving through our neck of the woods, and pretty much exactly along the timing that we thought, between 5 and 7 o'clock, moving through the Wyoming Valley, and that's what we're dealing with right now. So it's all about the timing. I would say if you know of people that are working or finishing up, wrapping up at 5, 6 o'clock, and they are heading home, you may want to give them a call and just say, look out. If you're in northern Lackawanna County, parts of Wayne County, there is that tornado warning right there in effect by the National Weather Service until 6:15. We'll zoom in, and there they are. Clifford, Forest City, Carbondale, all part of that. And then we also have that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30. And maybe over the years you've heard me mention that it's 90% of the storm damage that we get are from straight line winds. And that's the case 90% of the time. There are tornadoes that do produce a lot of damage, absolutely, but straight line winds from these severe thunderstorm warnings can do a lot of damage as well. If we look at it on the radar, I'm just going to go ahead and put the attributes on there. So we're getting some downpours, but not a lot of lightning. And I know Scott Schaefer is out there on the set with us, and Scott's been through quite a few of these storms with me over the last couple of decades. And Scott, yeah, it's moving through northern Lackawanna County. At least that's what National Weather Service is saying. It's moving at about 50 miles an hour, so that's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's moving.
And I'm sure you guys are getting all kinds of phone calls and emails about storm damage around the region.
Indeed, we're getting a lot of pictures as well, folks, mostly in central Pennsylvania, where, as you just said, the storm seems to have waned and be really out of the picture there. So folks are taking the time to send us pictures to WNEP.com about what they're seeing in their neighborhoods. The situation, I know, Kerr, you're real busy in there. Maybe it just bears repeating for the folks who are just joining us right now for Newswatch 16 at 6. We're in a tornado warning, and the difference between a warning and a watch as it relates to weather advisories, a watch means the conditions are favorable. So if there's a tornado watch, the meteorologists have determined that conditions are favorable for the formation of a tornado. When we get into a tornado warning, that means there's tornadoes. Something's been spotted, either on radar or by eye on the ground. Something's happening. That's when we go on the air wall to wall to bring it to you, because that is an extraordinarily dangerous situation. And that's why Kurt is in the Weather Center tracking this right now. This is the one tornado warning we have going on right now that he is pointing to. They're just north of the Scranton area. But oftentimes we see these clusters of storms will spawn numerous other warnings as well. They'll just because this one is going on until 6:15 doesn't mean that as that line of storms continues to move to the northeast, it won't touch off another tornado warning that will then last until 6:30. There you see it again in the red. We're talking about northern Lackawanna County and into Susquehanna County and Wayne County there. Pretty good chunk of real estate and some important communities involved there that are right in the line of this storm. So a number of people need to really be taking cover and taking this seriously, because this could be a very serious situation.
Yeah, Scott, this is our neck of the woods, northern Lackawanna County. This is where you and I live. So we are watching this very closely. It's until 6:15. And the National Weather Service issuing that just about 5:45, just as I was getting ready to come on out here and do the weather. We'll keep these boards up here. I'll show you what's going on. National Weather Service issuing that because of this line of storms. Look at that line. Again, we are looking at the potential for a lot of wind damage with these, cloud-to-ground lightning. We've also seen hail. As a matter of fact, people sending us pictures of hail like Bethany did here in New Columbia. And also in that same area, if you look at northern Lackawanna County, let me go back to that watches and warnings. I'll zoom in here. And here we go. This is Carbondale. We zoom in. There's German, all included in that tornado warning. Clifford. So you be very, very careful if you're in this area here, shaded in red. National Weather Service issuing that. And if we look at the latest data that we have here, and again, just bear with me because we are live on the air and going through this. So the impact could be flying debris, dangerous if you're caught outdoors without being in shelter, can create damages to rooftops, windows, damage to vehicles can occur, tree damage is likely. And again, the cities that are being impacted by this storm, Carbondale around 5:55, so we're just beyond that. Forest City, Waymart, Uniondale, all right now being impacted by that storm. And Prompton, Pleasant Mount, 6:05. So tornado warning issued. That line is right there. And the area that we're talking about right here. So you folks in Forest City, Pleasant Mount, batten down the hatches. It's going to get bumpy here over the next half hour to an hour, and then we'll taper off to just some rain showers as they're moving through. Let's go ahead and look at, obviously we're focusing on that area up there, as we mentioned before. Just want to reiterate, just because it's tornado warning issued, times have changed. You know, when I first started doing the weather 28 years ago, you had to have somebody on the ground spotting a funnel cloud, and then they called it in, and then we had a tornado warning issued. Not the case anymore. With the advancements in radar, if they see rotation in these thunderstorms, the National Weather Service will trigger a tornado warning, even though there's not been a confirmation of a funnel cloud on the ground. So it's just to be safe. And it's a wonderful tool, the advancement of technology, but you may be wondering why. Seems like we get a little more tornado warnings now than, say, what we did 20 years ago. Well, that's why. Advancements in technology is one of the reasons, one of them. Of course, climate change another. So this is what it looks like as far as Doppler estimated rainfall. We had that flood warning issued. It's still issued until 7:45 for southeastern Bradford County, and this is why. You can see in Sullivan up into Bradford County, Doppler estimated rainfall 2.9 inches, and there's still more rain coming down as we speak. The motion of this, yeah, it's moving gradually. The storms themselves to the northeast, but the line itself is moving east. We'll go ahead and put it into motion. There it is. And I understand we have some pictures. Am I correct on that? Do we have some pictures to show? Okay, Emily's telling me we do have some from Columbia County, and they're working on it right now. So we'll go back here to the radar. How much longer is this going to last? Well, probably in the eastern portions of Pennsylvania, probably for another 2 or 3 hours. We got 6 o'clock now, so probably until about 8, 9 o'clock. And also, with these downpours, I mentioned this photo before, northern Lackawanna County, where we have that tornado warning. Dave sending us this photo of water rushing down his driveway, spilling out onto the road and creating some flooding problems there. So, and we have another picture. Can we put that picture up so I can see? I haven't seen this one yet. Oh, from New Columbia County, New Columbia, right? I believe so, yes. And I think this is Bethany had sent us one, and I believe Amanda has sent us one as well. So we appreciate you guys checking in and sending us this stuff very much. We are keeping a close eye on it, and I can hear the rain coming down in the backyard right now. So we've got, just to recap a little bit here, we've got flood warning still going on in southeastern Bradford County. We have that tornado warning in northern Lackawanna County, also into Wayne County, and then we also have southeast corner of Susquehanna County, where that tornado warning. We've got about another, I would say, 10 minutes. And we'll see if the National Weather Service extends that or if it, in fact, allows it to expire. Let's go ahead and look at the radar images that we have right now, because it's pouring here in our backyard. And there it is. That's the line that's moving through. Starocco's got some heavy rain coming down, Pleasant Mount, Forest City, and Scranton as well, coming down that line a little bit. You folks in central Pennsylvania, I know we've been focusing on that northeast corner because that's where we have the tornado warning. But we are keeping an eye on Bloomsburg, Berwick, in those areas, Shamokin Dam over into Mahanoy City, Tower City right there as well. So again, this is an impressive line, and there's going to be some big changes for us as far as our temperatures go. I know we're forecasting mid to low 50s for tomorrow morning, but that's going to be one of those, like I like to call, fake news highs because that's going to be at like 12:01 in the morning, and then the temperature goes down after that quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I'll show you some more on that. Let me just scroll down here. We'll be looking at, again, see that 1:45 in the morning. Back it up just a little bit. So there it is, 11:20, 60 degrees, and then as we move into the morning hours, that temperature goes down. And for tomorrow, it's going to stay in the 40s even during the afternoon. Our average high is 54, so we're going to be in the 40s, mid 40s for tomorrow, and it will be breezy. So now let's go back to our main reason for being live on the air here, and that's that tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. Moving through pretty quickly, and it's moving into Forest City, Honesdale. Are you mic'd up yet, John?
I am mic'd up,
Okay.
yes, sir.
John Hickey joining us now, and John, it's been quite the afternoon with these storms breaking out as they have been over central Pennsylvania. You saw the flood warnings issued up in the northern tier, and then we had the hail, reports of hail and wind damage on 6th Street in Williamsport. So it's been an active afternoon. We've been talking about it, though, for the past couple of days, and I know you are working on the radar image over there. Mm-hmm. And let's look at the in and outflows, if that's what you're pulling up.
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up here. And, the good news here is that, what triggers these tornado warnings, as you were saying earlier, Kurt, I caught you just as I was heading in, is, the in and outbound, winds that are coming in from the radar. And when you get what's called a couplet, when those winds get really close together, that lets you know that, you have what's called a mesovortex and perhaps a tornado. But what we've seen in the last few scans here now is that those cool colors that are towards the radar and warm colors that are away are actually getting a little bit further apart. When this was initially issued, those colors, the reds and the greens, were directly All right, yeah, let's take that. We've got some video from West Milton, and this would be from the storm that moved through there earlier. Kurt, looks like they've got, wow, that is some hail there and some wind.
Okay. Yeah, certainly hail. We've had numerous reports of that. As a matter of fact, when we look on the watches and warnings map, I mean, it's lit up here again. We still have that tornado warning until 6:15, which is the reason that we're on the air. Scott standing by in the studio here to bring you the newscast. But we also have now a flood advisory issued for parts of Sullivan County. And John, I did the Doppler estimated rainfall, and in that general area, Sullivan up into southeastern Bradford County, that was a bullseye. I mean, you're looking at 2.9 inches Doppler estimated rainfall up there, and we've had phone calls and reports at southeastern Bradford County near New Albany of flooding going on there.
This is just in from the National Weather Service here. That tornado warning that we're kind of doing wall-to-wall coverage for is set to expire at 6:15, and that's kind of what I was getting into there with the in and outbound on the radar, the velocity mode, if you will. The colors are getting further apart from each other, and what that indicates is that you don't have quite as tight of a rotation with that storm, so it's what's called broadening out. So as the storm is now drifting up east of Forest City, kind of northwest of Honesdale too. Let's give you a couple other communities that are, in. So this is Waymart, Bethany, Aldenville, Dyeberry, and Whites Valley also included officially in the warning. But again, kind of seems like things are kind of broadening out here. The tornado risk is lower, but we've still got that polygon. We've still got that tornado warning to effect. So you've got to take those tornado precautions. You got to be in that tornado safe shelter. That's in the most interior room of your home, away from windows, in a basement if possible. But it kind of looks like as the storm has crossed over into Wayne County, that tight couplet that we had earlier is what's called broadening out. So without that tight rotation, it's much less likely that a tornado is on the ground here at this point. But when that couplet was pretty tight, and that was up in the Waverly area of Lackawanna County, things certainly could have been a little bit different there. But again, just in from the National Weather Service, this is going to go ahead and expire at 6:15. So
I'm glad to see you got your handy map back.
Well, yeah, I found the map.
Joe moved that, and you were beside yourself.
I was in a tizzy, but I found the map. This map is clutch when you're trying to just tell people, because you can give the people some roads, 170, 670, that's where the storm is headed right now. But again, things are broadening out, so we're in a lot better shape. So officially that warning goes until 6:15. It's 6:10, but the tornado risk is certainly a lot lower now than it was just 15 minutes ago.
And I've talked about this earlier, John. We always focus on tornadoes and tornado warnings and the wind damage, but a lot of the damage that we get from these storms come from straight line winds from the storms that are moving through right now.
Sure, yeah, and actually at Montour County in Exchange, Pennsylvania, we've got some reports out there anyways. We're going to go ahead and try to confirm it with our own crews and video of a barn was destroyed, and there's all sorts of debris tossed like a quarter mile away.
Wow.
So there could be, don't know. We don't have official word, but certainly strong winds would cause that. Whether it's tornadic or not, yet to be determined. But these storms certainly have a history of producing damage. That, again, out in Exchange, Pennsylvania, Montour County earlier this evening. And now, of course, the tornado warning storm in Wayne County at this point. But again, things are broadening out. So we're getting in better shape now.
Yeah, and we heard a couple of hours ago about trees and wires down in the Williamsport area on 6th Street. Trees just blown over. So, what John was saying about those straight line winds obviously can do lots and lots of damage. If we look at the bigger picture, again, the reason we're on here is because of that tornado warning you see there. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings issued by the National Weather Service. And that area that we're talking about, the flashing you see there is because they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. But that area in red is where we have the tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. So we are keeping a close eye on that. Let's go ahead and jump back to radar here. And as we look, there it is. I mean, moving at 50 miles an hour, John, that's pretty quick. I mean,
it's cooking. It's
Yes.
cooking. But again, the good news is that, and again, latest scans, I mean, the velocity signatures continue to
let's go to
indicate,
Doppler, or let's go to Max 2 if we could,
yeah,
please.
this is just not nearly as tight. So that's why this thing is going to go ahead and expire at 6:15. This couplet was a lot tighter earlier. So again, you get your warm colors away from the radar site in Binghamton. Cool colors are towards. These colors earlier were, again, like right on top of each other. Now there's some space there. So broadening out, still a decent storm, still some gusty winds.
Circle that area right there so you kind of show them exactly where you're talking about here.
Sure, yeah. So we've drawn the arrows as to the cool colors towards and away.
Yep.
Kind of lacking that tool here for actually drawing anything other than, oh, there we go. So yeah, so this would be the area right in here. Sorry about that color there, but
Nope.
there you go. So that's the area of very broad rotation. So again, that concern for a tornado at this point much lower. Still some strong gusty winds again north of Honesdale. This is crossing over 670 at this point north of Honesdale. So again, this is in the Bethany and Prompton areas. Up by Prompton State Park, the disc golf course there, pretty popular. 191 too. So it's heading in that direction. But again, we're losing that tight couplet. So the tornado risk down, but still some strong and gusty winds with this line.
And it's still nasty. Ed, can we go back to Max 1 for a second? Because you've got the velocity mode there, but I actually have it on radar, and you can see what it looks like on radar if you look there, right there, just northwest of Honesdale. So this is creating some damaging winds. It's also downpours, creating some flooding, I'm sure, in areas with poor drainage. So you see what it looks like there, and we continue to monitor this as we go through the afternoon. So let me see, we got 6:13, and it looks like this is going to expire, and doesn't mean we're out of the woods though. And John, I want to make that point here. I mean, if you look down towards Bloomsburg and some of these there's some nasty storms down there still, and you can have damaging winds, hail, flooding. You can have all of that, and again, all part of that line that's moving through. So we're watching it. It's pretty much on track here. I think it'll push through by 7 o'clock and then be over the Poconos in eastern Pennsylvania. That's where they're going to have some problems too.
Yeah, so like you said, not out of the woods. Still got to get through the rest of eastern Pennsylvania here. Should also note, you were just mentioning, especially earlier, about it's not just tornadoes that cause the damage. Of course, it's straight line winds, but should be noted too, a lot of these severe thunderstorms, as I'm reading through the National Weather Service chat here, a lot of them have that tornado possible tag on them. So it's not a tornado warning, but it's like, hey, you know what? We're seeing some stuff that may lead to a tornado. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning for now, but heads up, could be some upgrades, and that's been the tail of this entire afternoon. A lot of these warnings have had that on there, so we'll be on guard for a couple more hours until this is out of our area.
Absolutely, Scott. It's 6:15 now, so they're going to allow that to expire. I don't see it being put on, so we're going to send it into Scott now. Scott, I know you have some news and other things to talk about, but we are keeping a close eye on the weather.
Well, outstanding job, gentlemen, and we'll be checking in with you again before 6:30, no doubt about that. Stay with us for Newswatch 16 at 6.